Episode 10 with Parimala Bhatt. Suman versus
In 92, I did my Himalayan expedition. That was 17,000 feet height.
Wow. Good morning, Parimala ji. I'm so happy today to bring you to my show because Parimala ji, you are a true inspirational personality because you are a founder of Snehankit Foundation for Visually Impaired, and you are doing wonders to the visually impaired community. Wonders like helping them getting education, and you are helping them stand steady in their careers and much more. Parimalaji, I want to know more in detail about your organization and also about yourself through you. Welcome to my show, Suman versus Human.
Thank you, Suman. Good morning to you all. I'm also very happy to be with you all at the show. And I'm very proud of my organization to talk about it. This organization was started in 2001. 21st August, we'll be completing 22 years now. And I started this organization because I had faced similar problems, which now, I would not say now, which those days visually impaired people were facing. That is, no readers, no books, no volunteers to read or help, no writers, very difficult to get writers, and many other difficulties were faced by us. So, when I was doing my graduation, I had before graduation also, when I was appearing for my SSC board, I had a very bad exam experience that we had. I had a writer who did not know the spellings, uh, simple spellings like that, THAT. So I suffered and I got only 50% marks for my
Though
SSC.
you are capable of getting 90% and above.
90% I will not say, because those days even 60 was appreciated.
But still, what my
70%.
intention is, though you are prepared well, it is only
Yeah, yeah.
because of your writer's capability
Yes,
you
yes,
have to sacrifice on it.
yes. And then I did my graduation from Ruya College and Ruparel College. I joined Ruparel because I wanted to study psychology. And that time I had decided I should do something that in future no visually impaired person faces so many problems. Of course, that time I could not start. I had other commitments. Then I joined MSW, Mumbai University, from Nirmala Niketan College of Social Work. Even that time, when you are studying, you have to be with the class. You have to do your presentations, you have to submit your reports, and you have to do your field work. And reports are to be submitted next day immediately, which was a little difficult because to find volunteers and readers for me. Of course, I managed. My faculty members, my staff of college, they helped me, and I could go through it. After I did my MSW, I did my management, diploma in business management. Then I was working as a part time social worker with Kamala Mehta School for the Blind for 3 years. There I had to work, I was working with children, which I really enjoyed working. So many cases we had to handle. different psychological problems they had, studying problem or family problems, and biological problems, all sorts of problems. Then, after 3 years, I joined Air India in 1984.
Wow.
Since I had done my MSW, I had a chance. It was, of course, through influence. I could join, but otherwise, it's very difficult to get jobs in corporates or companies for a blind person.
That too in a government corporate.
Yes. So I joined a medical as a medical social worker, and I worked for 32 years and retired as a senior manager, medical welfare department. When I was doing social work, I decided I have to do something. But then some other commitments came up. During my social work or when I was doing my graduation, we had organization Blind Graduates Forum of India. We all graduates had formed that group. And that time, I had so many hobbies. I was going for treks and all.
Hmm.
And that time, one of the organization decided to take visually challenged for uh, adventure training in mountaineering.
Hmm. Hmm.
For only that group was for women. So I went with that group, and we went to Zhongri, which is 14,000 feet height.
Oh.
Uh, then we went. That was a 3 weeks training from a Himalayan Mountaineering Institute in Darjeeling. In 92, I did my Himalayan expedition. That was 17,000 feet height.
Wow.
Uh, there's a group, Young Zingaro, and they were celebrating their 10th anniversary. And so they had decided that they would give a chance to visually challenged persons
And
and
in
take
that
them up.
group, I believe you are the only one person with disabilities.
Yes. I was a secretary of a National Association for the Blind for 20 years, where I was in charge of women's department. I had to train women, blind women, in various activities. Then we had to make gift products, seasonal gifts for donors or for companies like Diwali products. Then Raksha Bandhan. We had one project of making 1 lakh Rakis and sent to all the Jawans.
Oh.
So that we had done that time. That was done for 3 4 years.
Okay.
It continued. And so many workshops for blind women, training programs, and all that.
Yeah, I have a question here, Parimalari. During your schooling and during your college studies, see, those days I know things were not technically so developed as we are experiencing technology today. But those days, I want to know how you used to manage your study material. It might be textbooks, notebooks, whatever, whatsoever. So those days it was not at all an easy thing, and it needs a lot of struggle and hard work. I want to know more details about it.
Luckily, I studied in under the scheme of integration. That is with the normal students, sighted students. And I had a special teacher. We three students were in that school, a convent school, Durala Convent at Bandra West. And we had a special teacher. The teacher is called resource teacher, who uh, helps students in their studies. And our teacher was so good that she used to transcribe chapters in braille and give it to us to study. Even the maths she taught us, and geography, all subjects which we required help. So that was how I studied in the sighted school.
But that again, it is she who needs to transcribe into braille and give it to you, right? It is
Yeah,
not
otherwise
readily
very
available.
difficult because see, NAB has a press, but they were not doing transcription of English books.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to write in Braille, or our teacher had to transcribe on her Braille typewriter, which was very difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
But when we faced problem when I was up to seventh standard in convent because my resource teacher left the school, and so the committee decided to transfer us to Marathi medium school where other students were going from special schools like Kamla Mehta School for the Blind. See, after seventh, the students go to sighted school to study because special schools are up to seventh. And Kamla Mehta School students were going to Chabildas Girls High School at Dadar. So they decided to send us to that school. And it was very difficult for us from English medium to Marathi medium. So again, then one teacher was appointed to teach us Marathi and explain us all the subjects in Marathi. Of course, we did very well. All of three of us did very well, and this is how we studied. But though there were braille books, there was only one copy of each subject, and we were 7 to 8 students. So it was very difficult for us. So we had to take turns. Now today I'm going to study this subject, or tomorrow my another friend would study another subject. We had to decide. And writing also, no writers for us. So we had to go and ask our friends or uh, take guidance from the school or colleges, ask them to provide writers for the blind students for us. It was difficult. It was very difficult for us to get
More
books.
or less like
Yes.
it's like we need to almost beg them for give their time for provide writers.
Every time we have to beg for something or the other. Writers, volunteers, books, recording books, everything we had to take help from others.
Your journey with Air India. Today's situations are different, and those days things were different. So I want to know. I'm curious, like how your job was at Air India, like how you were treated among with your sighted colleagues, sighted counterparts.
My job was I was in medical department, so I had to deal with all medical problems and the patients meaning all Air India staff who had some problem or the other, like health problems, alcohol, alcoholics, drug addicts. Then we had one this thing, family planning, all these things I had to deal with these problems. In the beginning, my staff of Air India medical department, they were very hesitant to talk to me. My senior, since she was a social worker from Tata Institute, she was good to me. I mean, like friendly, good interaction we had. But some of the office staff, sometimes they never used to answer my questions or queries, or some of them being there, they would not show that they are there in the office sitting. Even if I call out to them their names or something, I had needed something. Uh, but I think slowly they realized my capacity, my confidence. Then they really, they were friendly with me. Uh, my job was, see, we had hospitals on the panel, Air India panel, and I
Okay.
had to book beds for the patients when they were sick or when they had to go for bypass surgery or any other disease problems. So my duty was to book the beds in the hospitals as per their entitlement. We have entitlements in Air India, Like
Okay.
manager will get a two-bedded room or executive class or all those things. So I had to study there that the entitlements, and accordingly I had to book the beds. Then another thing was blood donation. If a patient required blood, so I had to make arrangements for the blood, sending messages or calling up blood banks or some NGOs who can provide, who can help us in giving blood to the patient, or the hospitals, or the family members. Sometimes what happens, families, they know, this madam is going to arrange. So they are least bothered.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to convince them, and all those counseling was done by me. Then we had some flight pursers, air hostesses. They had some of their own problems. They had to speak to them, and many other such problems with the staff, but not outside Air India. Only with the staff of Air India, I had to manage. We had doctors, 24 hours medical department. So whatever I had done, I had to inform our doctors. Then I had to check on the patients and inform our doctors what is the condition of the patient, whether he's sick, whether he's serious, whether he needs any help from us, from Air India. Sometimes, if a person, it's a engineering department or loaders, if they have some accident, so we had certain rules and regulations. So I had to follow them.
What actually made you to start this charitable organization, such a noble thing?
As I told you that I did not want my brothers sisters to have same problems as I had undergone. So in 2001, I thought of starting this organization, and I spoke to my friends. They all agreed, yes, but agreed mean they say, okay, you tell us what to do, you guide us. So I started this Snehankit helpline, which caters to the educational needs of visually challenged persons, students and youth mainly. We started in the beginning. We started with project audiobook project. When I thought of this starting this organization, I just said, I made some clear terms and conditions that for audiobooks, I will need volunteers.
Yes,
Whatever I do, I will need volunteers because I had no funds.
yes, yes.
So, my friends, uh, one is Rajiv Khandekar from, now he is with AB Maza. That time he was in Lok Satta. Then Samir Karve from Maharashtra Times. I spoke to them, and they wrote some articles in the papers, and they uh, did some write up about the organization. And I told them I need some volunteers who could record the books in their own, sitting in their own homes. Now, this I said why? Because many people want to do some social service,
Yes.
but they do not know how to do it and where to do it. The problem is no one likes to travel, prefers traveling. They would like to do something in their own homes. And that thought came to my mind. I say, okay, then, and there are women who really want to do something, but leaving their family, their children, their own jobs. So this was a very good idea for everyone. And when I said this, when it came in the papers, so many people called me and they joined my organization. So this is how the beginning was. Volunteer. I started getting volunteers, and then I had made a form that what they would like to do, whether audio recording or reading or helping in computer work, because many of the students had to do some projects in the college which required writing.
Yes.
So that was a column I had in my form. Another column was escorting. Now, what happens when we go to government offices or hospitals? We cannot go independently, though we say we are independent, but because there are so many counters and so much of crowd, so we don't understand which counter to go, and they will say, come that side, go that side, okay, go to number one counter, and there you require help.
Yes.
You need somebody to
And
be with you.
unfortunately, our country is not really accessible.
Yeah. And that is how I had put that column also. Who would like to escort?
Yeah.
And sometimes, yes, shopping also.
Yes.
We would like to go for shopping, but we need somebody's help to tell us the colors and to go to different shops,
Yes.
markets, malls. Of course, malls were not there that time.
Yes.
But yes, shopping also. So escorting, then how will you like to would you like to do recording or reading or escorting or sponsorship?
Hmm.
Sponsorship for the medical facilities, medical aids, then fees, students' fees. All these things I had added in my form. So accordingly, people filled up their forms. But majority of them I got for audiobooks.
I believe those were audio cassettes, right?
Yes, that time the cassettes were there.
Yes.
Cassettes were
Yes.
there, Walkman. So there was recording on the Walkman. See, when you recorded on the cassettes, you had so many cassettes for each subject. You could not record one book on one cassette because cassettes were 90 minutes or 60 minutes.
Yes.
So many cassettes they had to carry students.
Yes.
Of course, those cassettes have gone. Then CDs. Then we started CDs, making CDs, and then we were posting the CDs to outstation students through post. Uh, Postal. It is very free. It is free for us. Literature of the blind. The government has done that a good job.
Hmm.
Whatever you send through post, it is free of cost.
Is it?
Yes. Braille books, cassettes, CDs. If it is a literature for the blind, it is free. Devices, white canes, slates, we are sending free of cost.
Oh, okay.
Then CDs we are doing. So many CDs, nearly per day we were making 60, 70 CDs before Corona.
Oh, awesome.
But afterwards, of course, everybody had to go for technology.
Yeah.
All the students, they had to learn. And we are training them in computers and smartphone, the usage, how to do it, how to download the books through computer, through email, through telegram. So now
You
we are
you
doing that work.
you are also into providing books in braille to the people with disability, right?
Yes, we have a braille printing. We don't do much transcription work. We are just have done a 10 standard, 11 standard, and 12 standard. Because see, to transcribe book into braille is very costly.
Yeah.
It's highly prohibited. So whatever we get funds from Rotary Club of Thane, they sponsor our braille production uh, by giving us some amount. So
Hmm.
rest of the amount we had to raise
Hmm.
through some other donors or organizations. Braille is very costly, so it is not feasible
Hmm. Hmm.
for everyone to have their notes or books in Braille. We are having some courses also. We conduct training programs. Recently, we had a home management workshop for 15 days
Oh.
where we were training visually challenged in how to manage in the house, then how to cut vegetables, how to make salads, then peel vegetable, cucumber and carrots and all. Then how to
Awesome.
cut, how to clean the vegetables. How do you know the vegetables are good or bad? Through touch. How to manage expenses in the house. See what has happened now. We all don't stay in a family. Some of them stay alone. So they should know how to manage the house.
Yes,
So we
yes.
taught them how to make chapatis and how to put cooker, then how to make dal, upma, pohe. So many things we taught them. So even if you're staying alone, some basic things you should know. You cannot always order from Swiggy and Zomato.
Unfortunately, both of those platforms are inaccessible today.
Yes.
So sad. Blind cannot order food to eat in India. Very unfortunate.
No. Yes.
There is something really very interesting. I would say brilliant that you are making blind people show the light to the world through solar electrification and also bulbs.
We had this training, electronics, electrical bulbs, LED bulbs making. We have a friend, Sagar Patil, who himself is a visually challenged person. And through exploring, he studied all these things, electrical, how the bulb works, how to make LED bulbs, tube lights. Yes,
Making
I was
bulbs.
about to come to that after I was
Yeah.
talking to you about the home management. Actually, he was a student with us in from 11th standard. He was taking facilities from us for writers and readers and all those things. And then when I realized Sagar is doing this program, so it's no problem. We can invite him and ask him to conduct this training program. Yes, we had 20 participants for this course because we don't have much place. So 12 participants in the afternoon. We had made two batches, 10 and 12, 10 and 10.
Hmm.
And there he taught everyone how to make electrical boards, how to make switches, how to make bulbs, tube lights, then how to repair mixer, how to repair fridge. And
Wow.
he himself had devised some instrument. He had made instruments accessible for blind to avoid getting shocks.
Oh,
If you're working with a fridge, you should not get shock. You can current.
yes.
So he had such instruments, testers, whether current is there or not to check. And it was a really good training program we had. That sessions were very good. And then one day, as he was teaching everyone to make bulbs, and everybody had made bulbs. Now, how to switch on the bulb? Then he showed them how to switch on the bulb, and then when they switched on the bulb, they were so happy to see. Happy to see means they couldn't see the light, but they could.
Feel the
Uh,
happiness. Feel the achievement.
yes, yes. Oh, the light is on. Everybody
Yeah.
clapped and was
Yeah.
well fun.
Parimalaji, I have a question here. This may sound very dumb, but I have this question popping up on my mind.
Okay.
How a blind person when he makes a bulb, so how does he know that the bulb is glowing?
Because it is warm, to touch if
Yes,
you touch it.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Perfect. I know this answer, but I want my listeners to understand because
Oh, oh, oh.
most of my listeners are sighted people.
Yeah. But there'll
Parimala.
be very many questions when I talk about home management also. They must be having.
Yes, yes. And do you get any support from government for manufacturing of all this?
No. Oh, I didn't talk about my Domini Center to
No.
you. Can I?
Yes, of course, please.
Uh, we have a center at Dombivli where children come to the center to study. They are right from age 3, 4 years to 11, 12 standard students.
All blind students?
Yes.
Hmm.
And they come to learn Braille, how to read Braille, how to write Braille, how to do mathematics on the frame. And they take one day off from their school and they come to the center. to study. So we have special educators to teach them. So their homework, then some subject like science, geography, mathematics, where they need help, we teach them English. And we also have computers training there also. In Andheri also we have computer training program and various types of games, toys they have to develop the senses. Because child is a small child, we have to first develop his touch sense before we teach braille. To develop this, we need some. First, we give them the pulses, small pulses, whether they can touch, they can feel, they can recognize. Then we give them some beads to touch, and this is how we develop. Then hearing, listening. So we have different types of toys making noise. Then stuffed toys to identify the animals. So we have various activities in the Dombeli Center. That place has been given by one of our education director who has given his place for the use of our center.
And the new center, what you just told us, that is schooling kind of thing, right? From the kindergarten to 12th.
Yes, that is a schooling and plus we have computers there and different activities there. They go for swimming also, learn swimming. Then
Oh,
we have chess training. They play chess.
as this school also have 11th and 12th, and certainly you need to cooperate with the Board of Education Maharashtra, right?
Yes, we are now trying with SSC board that they should allow 12th standard students to appear for exams with the help of their laptops because many students are doing very well on the laptop and they can write the answers on their own. Because, see, depending on the writer, then they will lose marks. I have one student doing her CA in Kolhapur. She said if I do write on my own, I get more marks on my laptop. So I don't need writers. So
Yes.
I want all the students to go for doing answers on the laptop, learn computer, be efficient in using computer. But of course, there are some difficulties. Everybody can't.
How about your family, Parimalaji? Like, tell me about your parents. Like, how they reacted when they came to know that you cannot see.
My parents were educated, so there was no question of reacting. They knew all the facilities available for the visually challenged. So I got a good family support in my life. So there was no any problem with my family.
Okay, let's come back to the organization you run. What is the reason behind the name Snehankit?
Snehankit means one who is really loving. Snehankit,
Awesome.
loving and affection. Yes,
Now,
that
what
is
are
the
your
reason
future
this
plans
name.
with the organization?
My future plans, I would like to start a hostel for the students, which is students are really facing problem. They cannot study. They have no place to stay when students come to Bombay or when they come from village areas and they come to Bombay to study. This is the biggest problem our students are facing. There's no, they cannot stay in with as a paying guest also or stay in a private hostel because the rates are very high. It's very expensive. They cannot afford. And to get a good place near the station to develop a multi-service come resource center for visually challenged where I can have all the facilities under one roof. Like we also work for low vision people who have lost their vision uh, at the later age and also whose vision is deteriorating slowly. We are also working for them who become blind late. There we have to do some rehabilitation work like training them in mobility, how to go independently, how to move with their cane, how to cross road, how to be on the road, how to approach person for help, and how to take help from people. When somebody comes to help, how do you ask the person to help you?
My dear
All these things.
listeners, I would like to tell you one thing very clearly, that in India, still the number is very big. The
Yes.
blind people are not all blind people are really educated and doing good in their lives. There are a large portion of blind people who are not educated and who are going through
Yeah.
hell lot of problems due to the poverty. And
Yes.
organizations like Snehankit are empowering them. They are providing them good education, and also they are providing them the resources to stand independently in life and do something to take care of themselves. Now, the big challenge here is funding, because money speaks a lot. Money means a lot, and unless you have ample amount of money in hand, you cannot really achieve goals. So I request all of you to kindly give it a serious thought, and here in the description I'm providing you the link to the organization where you can contribute uh, whatever you want. Like, you can click on this link and donate to the organization, so that our Parimala Bhatt, who is the founder of this organization, will put her 100% to achieve the goal what she is actually willing to do, because your contribution will give a better life to the persons with disabilities. Parimalaji, I have a
Yes.
I have a common question for all my guests coming into my show, and you will not have any option to say no. You have to answer this. The question coming up is, Parimalaji, if you have all the powers, all the superpowers in your hand to change something in this country, what that would be?
I would change the attitude of people, create awareness among the people about disability sector.
Which is indeed needed today.
Yes.
So it was great talking to you, Parimalaji, and thank you so much for giving me time. And thanks a million for coming into my show and making my day special.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.